Working at a remote location might make your mind play tricks on you. If you take away the terrifying concoctions your mind crafts to properly scare the living bejesus out of you, it's quite a humbling and relaxing experience. When I arrived at the radio station, the forest around me looked peaceful, welcoming as a matter of fact. It was a simple, routine checkup. The lumbering tower stood solemnly in a lime-patched hill. A couple of trees had been taken down in order to make way to the crude, monolithic structure. As I entered through the front door, I noticed the door was ajar. It swung open slowly as soon as I rested my hand on the knob, almost as if it wanted to open on its own accord. A small red flag raised in the back of my mind, but I dismissed it. "Ben?" I called out loud. "You left your door open, buddy." I stepped into the dim room, probing around the wall with my hand. I recalled there was a light switch a couple of feet to the right of the entrance. As I blindly reached for the elusive dial, the darkness in the room shifted and a hand squeezed my arm downwards. I yelped and lost my balance. "Shh!" A voice echoed in the room. "Ben?" I asked. The voice again startled me with a violent "Shh! Quiet! It can hear us." I couldn't see a damn thing, but I can sense a tinge of fear in Ben's voice. My mind raised another red flag. I could also hear my mind's emergency sirens now, blasting away at my skull, but I ignored them. "Ben," I whispered. After pulling me down, Ben's hand had released his steel grip on mine. To be honest, I wasn't entirely sure at that moment what was going on. It was as if time itself had stopped rolling, and Ben, the darkness, and me existed in an endless void. After a couple of agonizing seconds, I heard him speak once more. "Outside," he whimpered. Silence crept into the room, dancing insidiously, covering every nook and cranny with uncomfortable thoughts. I'd known Ben for 5 years now, and not once had he ever been like this. Tough like a bull, fierce as a bear, Ben was not afraid of the forest any more than the forest was afraid of him. "Let him come!" he would snarl as he puffed cigar smoke out of his mouth. As I sat there in complete darkness, I started to notice Ben's heavy breathing. It was more of a wheeze, to be exact. "Are you okay, Ben?" I asked. Ben kept silent. Only his clockwork wheezing reached my ears. He sounded like some old and sick, tired little man. It was a sick tune that now flooded the room. A figure suddenly opened the door. My eyes had trouble adjusting to the searing sun that barged into the room. "Jerry?" the creature asked. It was Ben's voice. My mind went into overdrive. I'm not much of an athlete, but I wouldn't be surprised if I broke a couple of world records as I bolted through the door. My charge sent Ben flying back into the green patch of freshly cut grass. He later explained to me that I'd almost given him a heart attack by bum rushing into him, looking, as he recalls, white as a banshee. I slammed the door behind me, and for a moment, the world stopped for me again. Ben looked at me, horrified at the distraught of my face. "Jerry, what the hell is wrong with you, man? You can't go charging at people in the middle of nowhere," Ben shouted as he regained some color on his cheeks. I struggled to find the words that could even begin explaining what had happened inside that cabin, but then the wheezing started echoing from the other side of the steel frame door. There's something inside, man," I mumbled. Ben's brow shuffled, his expression shifting from bewilderment to anger and looping back to sheer confusion. His eyes danced between me and the steel frame door. His emotional stalemate was abruptly interrupted by a loud rap at the other side of the door. Fumbling wildly with his keys, Ben immediately locked the door. We didn't speak much on our hike down. I guess we were still trying to figure out if anyone would actually believe any of this, or if they'd just lock us away at our nearest mental asylum. A ranger team was dispatched to the radio station a few hours later. They found the door locked, just like Ben and I had stated. According to the team report, some wild animal, more likely a raccoon, badger, or a small bear perhaps, trampled all over the station. They also found some sort of burrow behind one of the control panels. Ben was satisfied with the team's briefing, but I certainly wasn't. Last time I checked, raccoons don't go about grabbing people's arms, let alone shushing them. And the wheezing, that god-awful wheezing, still haunts me to this day. I tried to convince Ben of what I experienced, but he returned to the station a few days later. He's been missing for 3 days now. Needless to say, I just filed my resignation papers. There's no way in hell I'm going back up there.